Hi guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. My hair is wild. And welcome to a video I've never done before, but I think they're so fun. Zoe Pritchard films these all the time. They're like monthly money update videos. And since there's so much changing in my life, I figured we'd just sit down and like hang out like friends that are getting Starbucks and you're asking me how my finances are going and I'm giving you a really lengthy update. I would say this is a coffee chat with Carter, but I'm actually having hot lemon water. Who am I? It's because I've already had 2 coffees and it's 10 in the morning. So no more caffeine needed here. So we're going to have a hot lemon water. But I have a lot I want to update you guys on and just chat about. I feel like my monthly resets, I kind of only have a specific amount of time to just talk about money because obviously I'm doing other things in the video. And there's just a lot going on. So I figured we'd sit down and chat. I have a lot of questions that I get just like on the regular, especially from my video that went viral. That video, this is just your sign to think every video out because I didn't think that video out much in advance. It was like a spur of the moment. I was on my lunch break one day and I was like, I'm gonna film a bonus video today and it's probably not gonna do well. And it ended up blowing up. And I got a lot of questions in that because like I said, the video wasn't really thought out very well. And there's a lot that I left out, like investing and stuff. So I'm going to sit down and answer all those questions for you guys today. I asked you guys over on Instagram too. I'm going to end this off with like a little Q&A. And we're just going to chat about money and goals, how we're doing. I want to chat about lifestyle creep a little bit. And honestly, let's jump into it. So obviously, the last few months have been a big adjustment for me in terms of income. You guys obviously know I'm not bragging. I ask you guys all the time if you want me to include YouTube income in these videos and you always say yes, so that's why I'm including them. It's been a big adjustment. I went from probably making consistently like $2,000 to $3,000 inside hustle money a month to between $7,000 to $10,000, which is a huge jump. And I'm really trying hard to not let lifestyle creep into my life. I think Matt's really good about that. Matt really grounds me. We are like yin and yang when it comes to money. I'm definitely more of the spender and he's more of the saver, which I think is fine in a relationship. But I definitely I don't know. I think I see lifestyle creep coming in like a little bit in like my minute everyday purchases, but not in the grand scheme of things. I'm also going to try and not edit this. It's just gonna be like a one-take chit chat video. But yeah, like I have no desire to like get a new car, any of that kind of stuff. If anything, I feel like it creeps up in terms of like when I'm watching content, I'm like, oh, I need that. And then I'm just like, I can buy it because I have the money. And I'm trying to avoid that kind of lifestyle creep because I think lifestyle creep is like an accumulation of little purchases. It can be big stuff like a car or whatever, or like an apartment maybe out of your income like budget range. But I think it can also be just like little everyday purchases. So I'm trying to be very conscious of that. I think one of the things I struggle with that I've been working on a lot, and I hope you guys maybe can tell, is that when I'm bored in a vlog, I like to go shopping because why not? I don't always get stuff, honestly, but when I'm bored, I'm like, let's go to HomeSense, let's go to the bookstore, let's go do this, that. And I think, you know, bookstore vlogs are fun and going to HomeSense every once in a while is fun, but I don't need to do it all the time. So I'm really trying to work on that and be conscious of that. Like, a vlog isn't just better because I have a haul in it. A vlog isn't better because we're going shopping, you know? So I'm trying to be a bit more conscious of that. But yeah, I definitely find the lifestyle creep has happened in terms of like little everyday purchases, not things like getting my nails done or whatnot. There are some areas in my life I'm really good about, which is like clothes and stuff. I really don't buy a lot of clothes except workout clothes, but I am trying to work on that. But I think lifestyle creep is something to be really intentional about. And I've always been it's always been in like the forefront of my mind that I need to be on it and I need to make sure it doesn't happen. And if it does, I need to snap back into reality because YouTube, like there's no guarantee. And I know that YouTube will be around for a while. It's not going anywhere, but when you're making a consistent amount of money off of it, you have to look at it that way. You cannot think like, I'm going to make this much money every single month and life is going to be great, because one day it's going to end. We don't know when, but it's going to end and then you're going to be out of money. So that's why I try to be really thoughtful and intentional with my YouTube income, and I do save a majority of it, or like it went to pay off debt last year, you know what I mean, that kind of stuff. But I'm very aware that like this could be gone tomorrow. And so I get asked all the time, like, what are you going to save if YouTube leaves tomorrow? And I would just like adjust my budget, obviously, and just maybe cut down on the spending a little bit. But for now, I'm just saving a lot of that money. Which brings me into my first point is, what are my goals going to be? Because I can't believe I'm saying this. It's literally like the beginning of February, but I'm already about to hit my 2022 saving goal, which blows my mind. By the end of this month, I will. I'm just grabbing my journal, which is crazy. And obviously it hasn't happened yet. Like I get my AdSense payments, excuse me, on the 21st of the month, but I want to be ready because after the 21st, I want to have my game plan set in stone. So one of my 2022 goals was, or my financial goals was to save at least $10,000 and save your AdSense paychecks in full. Literally thanks to you guys, I've already done that. And I think it's so easy when you get these like $7,000, $6,000, $5,000 payments to be like, I'm gonna buy myself a designer bag. I'm gonna take myself on a trip, which those aren't bad things. I'm not saying you can't do that. I'm just saying I wanted to get that fully funded savings account first before I maybe started treating myself. So I'm just like looking here. It's definitely gonna be a big year of spending. We have the kitchen renovations, we're doing the floors, we're going on a trip, like all that kind of stuff. It is gonna be a big spending year. But I've spent the last few days kind of trying to figure out what I want my goals to be now that I've hit my savings goal. And don't get me wrong, I think obviously in the long run, I want to have more than $10,000 saved, but that's kind of like my emergency fund. It's like my 6 months of expenses if something were to happen. Matt also has one. I get asked a lot about Matt, but Matt does his finances separately. We don't have combined finances. I honestly don't know if we ever will, to be quite honest. We've had conversations about it, and to me, even if you get married, I'm not saying there's anything bad with combining your finances, but for us, it's like, why stop what's working for us? You know what I mean? Like, why uproot our whole money plan just because we're married? I don't know. Maybe we will, who knows? But for now, we've decided we're going to keep our finances separate, even like when we're engaged and all that. Because I think engagement is like a big turning point for people. And once again, there's nothing wrong with combining your finances. It's just we're like, why, like a good thing's going for us. Why change it up? So he has money saved, I have money saved, and yeah, so when that $10,000 emergency fund, whatever, rainy day savings, general savings is fully funded, I'm trying to decide if I want to divvy it up between my TFSA and just in my savings account and my bank account, which doesn't earn a lot of interest. I think I might put it in my Neo savings account for now, which I get 1.3% interest on, which doesn't seem like much, but it's like a decent amount because I want it to be accessible if we need it. That's the one thing that gives me a lot of anxiety, is like having an emergency happening and needing that money. So yeah, I can't believe it. It's so surreal, but it doesn't stop here. So we have a few options for our next step. There's no right or wrong answer. Everyone's going to do things differently, but I have a few options. So the first is my car. I have a car loan, and obviously as per Dave Ramsey, you know, you shouldn't have any debt. I don't know. I really need to check what my car loan is. It's probably around $15,000 because I carried over, I don't know, I carried over negative equity for my car. So my car loan's at around $15,000 and my interest on that is like 2 or 3%. It's not crazy high. Then I have our mortgage, obviously, which once again, we have very low interest. I think we're at 1 point something. Like we got it in at a really good time. Then we have my car insurance, which I'm trying to figure out. I think I'm leaning towards my car insurance. So I have really high car insurance. It's because I drive a sports car. Well, I just have I have the high end. No, like I have the top Elantra model. Like I don't have the base model. I have like the sporty model. So it's considered a sports car from insurance. And I have a speeding ticket, or like camera ticket, and an at-fault accident on my record. So yeah, I get asked all the time why my insurance is $400 a month, and that's why. It was originally $300 and it went up $90 when I got my new car, which I didn't have a choice. Like I already bought the car, I had to do it. But I'm turning 25 this year, and my speeding ticket and my accident both come off my file this year. I already talked to insurance, so I don't know what my insurance will be, but it gets renewed in May. So from a perspective of, I'm looking at it like bettering myself for the future. If YouTube were to leave tomorrow, I want to have set myself up for success. I did that with $10,000 in my emergency fund. I think the next thing I'm going to do, which I know to some might not make sense, and that's okay because there is no interest involved, is I want to pay my car insurance up front for the year, because that'll save me. I'm expecting my insurance to go down, but also planning for it to not, if that makes sense, because I want to be pleasantly surprised, not bad surprised. Like it won't go up because I haven't had anything happen last year. But I want to have that money put aside to renew my insurance so that I can relieve that monthly payment, because $400 a month is a decent amount of money. Obviously my car payments are low and our mortgage is pretty low, but still it's a big chunk of change, especially when you're making, you guys know I budget off my 9 to 5, like not a ton of money. So I'm trying to set my future self up for success. And so I think my plan is to pay my insurance as a whole. That's like my next savings goal. So that's in May. I have 3 months, which I think is doable. So if my insurance doesn't go down, which I'm sure it will, $390 times 12 is $4,600. I want to have that put aside by May when my policy renews. I'm also going to shop around in April, obviously, before it renews to see if I can get anything cheaper, but I am through brokerage, so they'll get me the best deal. So that's my immediate goal. I think that is just a way, if YouTube like left in June, I've set myself up for success in the sense that that is a $400 payment that is like relieved for me every month, and that can go towards a different debt, like my car debt or something. So that's like my next immediate goal. I get a lot of questions about the kitchen. The kitchen's gonna happen probably in the fall. We're in a rush, but we're not. We have to do the whole main floor flooring first, so that's more of an immediate goal. That'll be around $1,300 to $1,400 for a whole main floor, because Lowe's does give a discount for healthcare workers and we're gonna get it on sale. So we're estimating on the high end $1,500 for our whole main floor, because we are doing what's the cheaper stuff called, like laminate. So that has to be done first, obviously, because then we'll put the kitchen on top of the new flooring. And that's what like all of our contractor friends have said to do. So we're going to do that first, hopefully in the summer, and then do the kitchen in the fall. So once we have an accurate price on our kitchen, I can start saving for that, but I'm just obviously waiting because there's a little bit more pressing things first. So yeah, first thing I'm going to do is save my car payment or car insurance in full. And then after that, I will reassess and see. I might add more money into my savings. I haven't decided. The kitchen will be probably about $5,000 for my half. So I have to keep that in mind. But the next thing after that, if by the grace of God, YouTube continues the way it is and I do have this income, is I want to put extra money on our mortgage. I know not a lot of people are going to agree with this, and once again, that's fine, but it's just what I want to do. I'd like to put some extra money onto our mortgage, not a ton, but just a bit, that once again, if YouTube were to leave tomorrow, at least we've made a dent in the mortgage. So that's my goal. And yeah, some people are going to tell me to pay my car off first. There's reasons behind paying off our mortgage, or paying off our house first that I can't like really get into on the internet, but just know that like it makes the most sense for our family situation, like Matt and I. So that is the goal. But those are just like kind of like upcoming goals now that I've hit that. I get asked all the time about investing, and I'm going to answer you guys' questions after. I just want to give you guys kind of like a little money update. I didn't say it in the video, but I do invest. So I have automatic withdrawals into my TFSA every 2 weeks. It's $50. Doesn't seem like a lot, but once again, I budget off of my 9 to 5 income. So $100 a month goes into my TFSA. And then if I have any extra YouTube income after I've put my AdSense and my savings, like a brand deal payment or for my part-time job, I will put extra money in my TFSA. And that's also priority this year. I do also invest. I use Wealthsimple for everything, for trading. I use Wealthsimple for my taxes. If they want to sponsor me, I use Wealthsimple for literally everything. I use it to invest and I use it to trade. I have not been doing my own like single stock trading right now, just with the market. But yes, I do invest into a TFSA, and I have an RSP, and I obviously have a pension through work and stuff. And yeah, I also started my taxes. I don't know if you guys remember last year I owed like $4,000. This year I actually am getting a little bit of money back, which is great because I put aside 20% of all my brand deals and stuff. But with my write-offs this year, it actually evened itself out, which is amazing. I'm so thankful. So I was kind of worried about that, but it all worked out. We also have our property tax coming up, and that's in June, and that'll be around $700 for each of us. So I'm kind of keeping those just like big purchases coming up on the forefront of my mind. But January was a really eye-opening month for me. It was a really low spend month personally. I had some big expenses, like I bought my mom her like dream birthday present, which is this almond milk machine, or like a dairy-free milk machine. That was like $350. But I reduced my spending because of that. And you guys know I love using my money I make to like give back to my family and Matt and everyone because they deserve it. I love to spoil others. It's my love language. But January was a great month. My biggest like doo-doo or like bad thing was I spent like $150 on books, but you know, I got a lot of books for that because they were all used, and it brings me joy, and there's like worse things in life to spend your money on than books. But yeah, so that is like kind of the first update on like what's next in terms of savings, what you guys can expect. And then we have our back after a brief hiatus, hashtag IBS life. Where were we? I don't even remember what we were talking about. Oh, investing? Yeah, we're doing that. We're still doing that. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. The next thing is my new job. I have no idea what my salary is going to be. I still haven't gotten my offer letter yet, so that's fun. But it's okay. It's fine. I'm not like super stressed about it because I do have like a cushion in my checkings account, and the range that they gave me for the salary and working 3 days a week and getting in lieu of, it should be around what I'm making now. Maybe, hopefully a little bit more, but who knows? I'm going to be going on Matt's benefits because we're common law, which is great. And then I'm getting in lieu of for vacation. So it is what it is. But the nice thing is I do have, so in my full-time permanent job, I got 3 weeks of vacation a year, and I still have 2 weeks left, and I'm going to roll it over. So for the first year of this job, I'll have like paid vacation, but otherwise I won't. I'll be getting the 14% in lieu of, which is fine by me. Because the next thing I want to do is I want to have a bigger buffer in my checkings account, which not everyone agrees with, but I think it would just give me some peace of mind, especially in the first few months of like my new job and finding a new like financial routine with my paychecks. I'm hoping right now I have enough for 2 mortgage payments plus like whatever is just in my checkings account. I'd like to see that at a set number. I'd like to see that around 3,000. Which might be high to some people, but just with working part-time now, it'd be nice to give myself that buffer. So I'm going to try and always have around $2,500 to $3,000 in my savings or in my checkings account. So that's another goal of mine as well. I got asked a lot if I was keeping my part-time job, and I am. I did take a break in January, like I said, from it just to see if it helped, and it did. But I am keeping it for now, especially with going part-time. I think it's a really great thing to have in my back pocket. I work PRN, which means as needed, so I don't have to pick up any shifts. And I did pick up like I think 2 in March now that I feel a little less stressed. But yeah, I'm gonna keep it because I think it's really great to have in your back pocket, and it's just like a smart financial move to have in case I do need extra money or something. So that answers that. But let's see, what else do we have to talk about? So we talked about 2022 goals going forward. I'm trying to think. I am really going to try to go on a book hiatus, a book ban this month, because I don't need any, because I can count, well, 2 of my shelves are TBRs. I have 1 or 2 pre-orders that I have. I have the rest of the Twisted series coming this week from Amazon because I want to reread them. So Twisted Games and Twisted Hate. I already have Twisted Love are coming this week. And then I have Lauren Asher's new book on Kindle pre-order. But that's it. I'm really going to try and get through a lot of the books I have this month. Because I have like at least 20 books I need to read, like actual physical books. That's not even including any of my ARCs or books on my Kindle. So I'm gonna try and go on a bit of a book ban. I don't like the word ban, but you know what I mean. Guys, I'm so sorry. This is just how I really am though. Like I'm so all over the place. Disney's gonna be a really affordable trip. We are, at the time of filming this, it's like February 6th. We are 99.9% sure going. We've just decided we're doing it. We're going for it. We're going to take the proper precautions. We have our K95s. We're going to bring an antigen test to test every few days. Like we're going to be as safe as we can be, but we're going. And it's going to be a pretty affordable trip, and that's how we can justify it just with everything coming up. So we have a WestJet credit card. I do. Matt flies free with me, and I just pay taxes on my flight. So it was like $160 for both of us to fly. And as you guys know, we've been trying to reschedule our trip 5 times since the pandemic. So we have our park tickets are already bought because my annual pass expired during COVID. I obviously didn't renew because I didn't know when I'd go back. So Matt and I both have 7-day tickets on our account, which don't expire. They just don't expire. So we both have 7-day tickets, so we didn't pay for those. I mean, we paid for them 2 years ago, but you know what I mean. And the only thing we had to pay for was our hotel, which is probably the priciest part, I'd say. We're staying at Pop, and we're paying around $1,500 US for 7 days. So not too bad. And then obviously we just have like food and stuff, but because of COVID, we're not really going to do any sit down restaurants. I don't think. I think we're just going to do a bunch of quick service. We might do 1 or 2 sit down meals if we can sit outside, but we just don't feel comfortable sitting inside yet. Or at least we don't now. We might get there and feel comfortable with it, but I'm so sorry, I just burped. But yeah, so I'm gonna set aside, I don't know. We usually feel out how we're gonna split it. Usually we split the hotel and then we split the food, but I put it all on my credit card because I get a ton of points, and I have an American credit card. Or like, sorry, my WestJet card, I don't get the fee every time I use it in the US, and Matt does, so I just pay for everything and he will split at the end. So I have set aside, I actually have it right here. So I haven't decided if we're gonna do gift card or not. I think we will. I get asked all the time about the gift card method. It's nothing special. It's just that at Disney, if you buy a Disney gift card, you can use it for your hotel, your food, like literally whatever, park tickets. So to me, when I was bad at saving, it was easier for me to buy gift cards than put money in a savings account because I would touch it. Obviously I have self-control now, but I didn't. So what I would do is every time I got paid, I'd buy a gift card, or if I got any side hustle money, I'd buy a gift card, and then you can combine all your gift cards into one up to like $1,000. So you might just have a few gift cards, and we separate our gift cards into like hotel, souvenirs, and like food. So for example, this one, it says main card on it, but this is our souvenir card, and this has $600 on it. We obviously don't need to use everything, but it's a great way to budget for a trip and whatnot. So yeah, that's how we do like the gift card system. But for a hotel, we're just using like cash, like money in our account. And we haven't decided with food yet, but we have a souvenir gift card. So that's what I mean when I say I can be using the gift card system. It's just what works for us. If you're bad at saving, it's a great way to do it. So yeah, that's that trip. I need to also start putting money aside for that. But yeah, those are kind of like my upcoming plans, I guess, with money. But otherwise, it's a good month so far. I mean, we're only a week into February, but it's been a good month. I haven't really spent a lot. But yeah, so I'm gonna go grab my phone and we'll do like the little Q&A to end this off. But I want to like just chat, catch up, and talk about money. Who doesn't love that? So I asked you guys over on Instagram if you guys had any questions for me, because I haven't done like a money Q&A, if ever, honestly. I can't remember if I ever have. So I asked you guys, I got a lot of questions, so I'm gonna try and go through these super rapid fire. There's so many of them. First one is, do you keep your emergency fund in a separate savings account? Yes, I think this is personal preference, and I really hate this notion on the internet that we need to attack people for having like a detailed budget and it's like not a simple system. Do what works for you. I just share what works for me in hopes that maybe it will inspire someone. You guys know I used to be really bad with money, and this is what works for me. A simple system does not work for me. And so yes, I have separate savings accounts within my bank account. With RBC, they're super easy to open. So I do have a separate one. I separate all of my savings because I'm not someone who can look at $10,000 in a savings account and think $5,000 is for my emergency fund, $2,500 is for my pet emergency fund, and $2,500 is for my vacation. Like, I just can't distinguish that. I'm a very visual person. So yes, I do have a separate savings account for my emergency fund along my other savings accounts, but you do what works best for you. It's just what works for me, but yes, I do. How did you end up saving enough for a down payment? Strategies. So I don't think I've ever talked about it in like full, but I'm pretty sure I talked about this in my January 2021 reset, because we had been planning to buy a house at the end of the year, not the beginning. But basically, a great way to do it is to, first of all, get pre-approved. That'll figure out how much you can get pre-approved for. So let's say you get pre-approved for $500,000. Then I would use like a mortgage calculator. That's what we used. So if you do a mortgage calculator, okay, so I had a ton of people asking, okay, I got asked quite a few times, like, how did you end up saving enough for a down payment? Strategies. This is what we did. I think I filmed in my January 2021 or like resetting for a new year video, I talked about it. But basically what you're gonna do, first you gotta get pre-approved, okay? So let's say you get pre-approved for $500,000, that's like your top end. Go to a like mortgage calculator. The one on Rate Hub or the one on realtor.ca is really, really great. and it'll literally tell you like 5% of 500,000 is 25,000, and that will give you, I don't know, a mortgage of $2,200. And then you can say, like, let's say you want to put 10% down, then it'll tell you that 10% is obviously $50,000, and so on and so forth. So that's a really good way to figure out like kind of what you need to have. It just also depends on what like your mortgage payment you want to be. So for us, we had a specific mortgage payment in mind, which is what ours is now. And so we had to figure out our down payment cost with the houses we were going to buy. So yeah, but getting pre-approved is a really, really important first step. Next one is, do you invest in stocks and crypto? Yes, I do. Like I said, I just don't talk about it publicly because it's not something I feel like I'm the most educated on. So I don't think I can give information on this platform about it. There's a lot of other great resources. I also get Matt's help a lot with investing, but it's not something I'm very, very educated on. I'm still learning. And so I just don't feel comfortable talking about it. Steph and Den are a really great YouTube channel. They're a Toronto-based couple and they talk a ton about investing if you want to go check them out. Did you wish you had a formal education on money, budgeting, taxes, loans, etc.? Oh my gosh, of course. When I was 18, I went to the bank and they were like, here's a credit card. And I was like, free money, sweet. And as you guys know, I racked up like $15,000 worth of credit card debt in my 4 years of undergrad on just like random shit. So yes, I wish I knew how to budget my money. But I'm happy that my parents made me really independent from like the first day that I could be independent. When I was like 17 or 18, I obviously have a horse, you guys know. And so I had to get a job and I had to pay those bills, and that taught me a lot of responsibility. So yes and no, like I feel like I had good education, but I wish I would maybe have been taught in school like about budgeting and credit card use a bit more. How do you decide how much to put in savings? This is something that's so personal to you, and I talk about this in my 2022 financial goals. It all comes down to like, what is your goal? Is it to pay off debt? Is it to buy a house? Is it to have a certain amount in your savings? Like for me, I wanted to have $10,000 in my emergency fund, and that's what I was saving towards. Everyone is going to be different, and you need to figure out what your goal is, and then from there, once you have your financial goals, you can make a certain amount. Maybe it's a $5,000 emergency fund, maybe it's making a $5,000 debt payment and saving up for that. Like you need to figure out what your goals are and go from there. Do you struggle with feeling that you don't put away enough? No, not at all. I think everyone's path in life is super do you struggle with feeling that you don't put enough away? I used to, but I don't anymore. Everyone's path is super different, and I feel so fortunate to have disposable income from YouTube. So no, I don't play the comparison game anymore. Everyone is on their separate path, and that is completely okay. Focus on what you're doing. You know, take others' financial videos like myself and others as like maybe motivation and inspiration and like-minded people, but like don't compare yourself to where they're at, because everyone's journey is different, everyone's finances are different, everyone's bills are different, and everyone's job is different in salary. So I used to play that game a lot, and I had to get it out of my head because I'm just lucky to be where I am now. How to plan and track debt repayment. My friend Annika has great videos on this. She's currently tackling, I think, over $200,000 of student loan debt, and she has a ton of great videos on this. I did mine super simple. I was super fortunate. I only had one student loan, and so I just tackled that in a year. I just put aside anything I could for my part-time job. I was working like 70-hour weeks, putting aside a ton of money every month into that. But I think you have to find what works for you. Check out some other YouTubers. Like I said, Annika is great. I love her videos. I mean, I'm biased because I'm really good friends, but she has really great videos on it. And I think tracking, I have a part of my spreadsheet. If you guys haven't already downloaded my 2022 like budgeting spreadsheet, I'll have it linked down below, but there is like a debt repayment page on there, and that is what I use to track like savings and stuff too. How do you know what stocks and things to invest in? I am so lost. So when I buy single stocks, I just do research. I look up what stocks are doing well right now, and I also just invest in stocks that I enjoy. Matt's dad is an accountant, and he's like very financially wise, and when I was saying I wanted to start getting into investing, and Matt's brother and stuff all said that like invest in things. One of the big, okay, so the next one is how do you know what stocks and things to invest in? I'm so lost. Girl, same. I was so lost when I started. The big thing is to like look up what's doing well, see what other people are investing in. And one of the biggest tips I got when I started was just invest in things you enjoy. So I invest in Disney, Lululemon, just like brands I use on an everyday basis. But definitely you can do some research. Obviously you can get like a financial advisor, someone to handle your portfolio for you. But if you're doing just single stock investments, I mean, I guess you can't really ever go wrong with crypto. Maybe you can, but I just say invest in things that you enjoy or that you use. You know what I mean? What platform do you use for investing? I use Wealthsimple for investing and trading. Where do you start? Just start with stocks, like I said, that you enjoy. Lululemon, Disney, Aritzia, Nike, things that you use. Start with that. Do you track what you want to budget versus what you actually spend? Yes, I do. If you guys see that, my every dollar, I track my budgeted amount and my actual amount. How do you not just spend your budget in like the first week of the month, shopping and personal? You just don't, honestly. I mean, if you want to, go for it. Let's say you have a $200 personal spending budget a month and you see a pair of shoes that you want and you buy it. Cool. Just know that you don't have anything for the rest of the month, because I think that's where issues come. I just have learned to pace myself. I'm not going to go out for like a super fancy dinner the first week of the month and then have nothing for the rest of the month. You know what I mean? I think it just comes with learning to pace yourself with your spending. I used to be someone when I got paid that I wanted to like blow everything, and I've slowly learned that that's not the way to live. I think part of it does help that I have a really grounded partner. Like Matt is very grounded when it comes to money and helps me make good decisions. But I think you just need to learn to pace yourself, and it's only something you'll learn with time. It's not something easy. I also try and follow the 2-week rule. So if I get paid and I want something that's like maybe over like, I don't know, 10 or 20 bucks, I try and wait like at least a week or so. Or if you can't wait that long, maybe just sleep on it and see how you feel about it. But I try and do the 1 week or 2 week rule, where I just like wait, I add it to my cart, and I wait and see if I still want it in 2 weeks. Or I order it and I return it if I don't need it. But I think that's a good way to do it, is to like not have immediate gratification, because I think that's where like the impulsive spending comes from, is our immediate gratification. So I try to wait and then buy and see if I still want to buy it. How are you adjusting retirement contributions with your new salary? I still contribute to my pension. I will still be contributing the same amount. It's just going to come out of my salary. I don't want to mess with that. I also contribute to my RSP and my TFSA. So I am kind of matching the difference in like my own personal savings, but I'm still in healthcare. At least you can still contribute to your pension whether you're like a part-time, casual, or full-time employee. I was wondering if you could explain buying a condo for the first time. I wasn't sure if this person thought that buying a condo was different than a house. It's not really. Like buying an apartment, condo, townhouse, single family home, it's like all the same concept of buying a house. Like it's just buying a house. The only thing to consider is you will have condo fees every month. So you obviously have to incorporate that into your budget and maybe your mortgage. So typically condos are a little less expensive, at least where we live. So like let's say a single family home mortgage was $2,000. It's not, but let's just say that. A condo mortgage might be $1,600 because you have that $300 condo payment. But I highly encourage for first-time home buyers to look into condos, because it takes care of a lot of the outside stuff, which for us is something we wanted. I know not everyone does, but for us it's really something we wanted. Buying a house is a huge expense, and then like let's say your windows break or your siding or your roof, at least we know that we don't have to pay for that, which is kind of reassuring. I definitely think our next house won't be a condo, but it's really nice as a first-time home buyer to know that like you only have to fix stuff inside your house. Tips for saving money in undergrad. I'm struggling a little bit, goes a long way. Start with $10, $15, $20 a month. Get a Roundup and Save app. Mocha's really great if you're in Canada. Just start with little amounts, start a side hustle, cut back. I feel like in undergrad I was so bad about eating out and stuff, and it's just because you're always out and about, but you really, good financial habits in undergrad really set you up for success in the future, and that's something I wish I had learned earlier. Subscriptions you've ditched. Oh, I actually ditched Amazon Prime. That's just scam, by the way. Like, why do people pay $70 a year for that? You can still use Amazon without Amazon Prime. It just comes like 2 days later. So yeah, we canceled Amazon Prime. And if I want something, instead of getting it in 24 hours, I get it in like 3 days. It's really not a big deal. Amazon really makes us think that we need things immediately, and we don't. So I still have Kindle Unlimited, but I don't have Amazon Prime. I think it's a great thing because you don't need things that quick. And if you do, just go to the grocery store. It's not that hard. That's the only one I can think of though. We still have like Netflix, Disney Plus, all that stuff. And I have all my business ones like Canva, QuickBooks, all that stuff. But Amazon is like the biggest one I can think that we ditched. Do you use a TFSA, RSP, other accounts for investments? Yes, I already answered that. How do you prioritize your money goals? I think I get really excited about money goals, especially when they're fun, like renovations and trips and stuff. And another great thing is probably controversial, but it's to incentivize money goals. So for me, I had a hard time saving. Like, to me, it wasn't fun. And now I give myself like incentive to save. So when I hit $10,000 in my savings, or that's not a good example, but maybe when you hit your first $2,500, go and like get your nails done. Or when you hit 5,000, let yourself get whatever it is you enjoy spending money on. Maybe you've been eyeing an Align tank, so when you hit $5,000 in your savings, you treat yourself to an Align tank or a new pair of shoes or something. I know it kind of seems counterintuitive, but it really, really helps me. And it's helped me make saving fun is when I give myself like little milestones and goals. And it doesn't need to be big things, but for me, it was like, okay, you can take yourself out and spend $50 to $100 on books once you save $5,000. You know what I mean? Like, for some of us, we really need incentive to save, and I think that has helped so much for me. How to determine the best credit card to get, rates, perks, fees. I think it comes down to what you want to use it for. For us, travel is super important to us, and so I knew I wanted to get a travel credit card with an airline. For you, it might be cash back. I don't really know what other cards there are out there, but travel ones especially, to me, I will pay $100 a year for mine if it means Matt gets to fly free with me and I only pay for my taxes. Like, the $100 trade-off is worth it for like saving thousands of dollars in flights and tickets. So I think it just depends what you want out of it. For us, we wanted to be able to travel more, and getting a travel credit card made the most sense for us. Maybe yours is like cash back or air miles, I don't know, but really think about like what you want out of a card. What is your perspective on donating, giving, and tithing? I don't tithe or like give to the church or anything. It's just not what I do, but I do donate. I've been donating quite a lot. I think just depends on what's going on in the world. Honestly, I donated to Black Lives Matter, to the Indigenous issues that were going on. I've been donating a lot to Ottawa-based companies, mental health research, and then obviously when I run races, I try and run with charity if possible. So I just donate in my own time. I don't tithe like every 2 weeks or every month. Just not something I personally do, but I do donate. Do you use Wealthsimple? So has your experience been so far? Amazing. I've been using Wealthsimple for years. I've been doing my taxes on them. This is my 3rd year, and I've had my TFSA with them for over a year and also been trading for over a year. I love Wealthsimple. I think the platform is great. Great, simple interface. 10 out of 10 recommend. How do you get back on track after a month of bad spending? Okay, so those are all like the major questions that I got. I hope that answers some of the things you guys wanted to know. I know a lot of them were like investing and stuff, but I hope you guys enjoyed. It was just kind of like a fun little chatty video, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you guys want to see more of these like monthly. I would love to do them more. Like Zoe has a great channel with just like these money updates. They're just like so fun, and I love listening to them while I'm working in the background. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to give this a big thumbs up if you didn't already. Subscribe if you haven't, because we're getting so close to 50K. I can't believe it. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.